Tour will be a big first step for me, but it's just one step for the WNBA, thanks to all the great players like Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, the great Dawn Staley, and my basketball.
Caitlin Clark took her spot at the podium, still buzzing from a game that had fans on fire and analysts dumbfounded. She handled the standard questions with grace, discussing her strategy, her teammates, and her unstoppable performance. But just as the session was about to close, a reporter made an unexpected comment. It wasn't a question. It was startling. The room was silent. Clark froze. Her expression said it all. What was said? Why did it astound her? Let's analyze it. The emerging star under siege, Caitlin Clark, is not your normal rookie. She is a force that is completely changing the landscape of women's basketball.
For the first time in franchise history, the Indiana Fever are WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions.
Her incredible talent, bold flair, and alluring appearance have taken the sport to a whole new level of excitement and attention. From her early days at Iowa to the intense fights on Indiana's courts, fans have followed her tale with a passion rarely seen before. Arenas are sold out, TV ratings have surged, and Clark is now the face of a movement that is taking women's basketball to unprecedented heights. Nevertheless, despite all of her accomplishments and the enthusiasm she has sparked, Clark has not gotten the warm greeting one might expect. Instead, she has become a well-known personality in the WNBA.
5 games with the injury, the quad, keeping Caitlin Clark on the sidelines. But Trevor, she was back today for an enormous...
A player is treated with cold shoulders, harsh criticism, and disrespect rather than admiration. Instead of being welcomed, she faces a tsunami of hostility from all sides. Her skill on the court is sometimes ignored or dismissed by more seasoned players. Referees also seem to overlook the violations she has committed, permitting hard play that would be called on others to go unpunished. The league's leadership appears strangely passive, offering neither support nor defense, as if they would rather to ignore one of the biggest names in the sport than stand up for him. Caitlin Clark continues to improve in spite of everything. Few rookies can match her maturity and grace, and she leads the league in stats with unmatched poise. She never loses focus, and her game speaks louder than any criticism she receives. But one powerful individual has noticed the disturbance and controversy, and he is responding in a way that no one else has. NBA Hall of Famer and renowned Indiana basketball player Larry Bird is closely monitoring the situation. Bird knows what it's like to sign up for a difficult league, carry the weight of a team, and face resistance from the very structure meant to support you. He recognizes in Clark a mirror of his own hardships. Unlike many, Bird is not just silently observing. He is fiercely defending Caitlin Clark. It was simply a skillful basketball play. I'm not sure what the referees saw to improve it, but it's up to them to decide after seeing what happened during the play and what happened after. Boldly condemning the abuses she comes across. He berates players like Marina Mabrey who have clearly shown disdain by targeting Clark with cheap, aggressive passes. He doesn't stop there, either. Bird raises serious concerns about the leadership of the WNBA, questioning why the league appears more focused on preserving antiquated structures and restricting access than cultivating new talent and growing the game. Larry Bird believes that Caitlin Clark is more than just a budding talent. She is both a symbol of change and progress and a reminder that great talent often faces the most challenging obstacles. As the world watches Bird continue to rule on the court and inspire off it, she is ready to defend the revolution she stands for. Larry Bird's relentless defense of Caitlin Clark exposes the WNBA's issues and shows that great icons do more than just play, they work to alter the game. Now let's see how this legendary individual is ready to change the course of basketball and build a brand new empire on Caitlin Clark. The revolution in basketball under the leadership of Larry Bird. Bird is not just annoyed, he has the capacity to start a full-fledged basketball revolution. He has been seeing a really unfair incident happen right in front of him. A player who only shows up once every generation, Caitlin Clark, is being elbowed, shoved, tripped, and disregarded, while the league officials say nothing and refuse to step in. This goes beyond a few missed calls or challenging game circumstances for Larry. It's a serious mistake that can no longer be written off as a form of professional carelessness. Bird is not asking for meetings or committees. He is not interested in lengthy conversations or useless reporting. He wants change and real, immediate action. His goals, according to those close to him, go well beyond just fixing small problems. He is thinking of building a whole team around Caitlin Clark or starting a brand new league. One where the most important factors are perseverance, skill, and vision. Not the egos, politics, or jealousy that all too often get in the way. It's hard to argue against his logic, to be honest. Every time Clark plays on the court, TV viewership decline. When she's not playing, they substantially decrease. She is more than just the highest scorer. She is the lifeblood of women's basketball. The biggest, famous, and most important athlete in the sport today. Larry Bird is more than just a well-known athlete. He envisions the future of basketball in general, not just women's basketball. If the current WNBA is unable to sufficiently safeguard and advance her, Bird seems ready to take matters into his own hands. He is not content to just offer meaningless words of support. Instead, he's questioning league policies, criticizing referees, and using loud, clear cries and verbal abuse to expose what's happening on the court. He's analyzing game footage, drawing attention to inequities, and starting conversations that could lead to important changes. Above all, Larry Bird is quietly laying the foundation for something potentially revolutionary. Something that could fundamentally change the way basketball is played, watched, and regulated. He sees Caitlin Clark as more than just a player to watch from a distance. She is a franchise, a brand, and a movement. Additionally, Bird is ready to take the initiative as a leader who is ready to plan, mentor, and protect her like royalty. Not just as an observer or admirer. He's ready to grab the clipboard, put on his shoes, and build her an empire. Thanks to Larry Bird, Caitlin Clark stands for more than simply points on the board. She represents the future, thus he won't let anything or anyone stop her. Larry Bird's dissatisfaction served as the impetus for a bold plan to revolutionize basketball on and off the court. Now let's look at how ignoring Caitlin Clark's rise and the toxic culture could be a wake-up call and lead to the loss of the WNBA's best player. If it doesn't move swiftly, the WNBA could lose Caitlin Clark, the player who has been the league's lifeblood. On the court, she is more than just a regular player. She is now a natural force, an actual movement. Along with attracting large audiences and shattering viewing records. A new generation of fans who have previously paid little attention to women's basketball have been drawn to Caitlin. She is the light that illuminates arenas and calls attention to herself. However, instead of encouraging its best player and celebrating her accomplishments, the league has allowed a toxic, negative environment to spread. This toxic culture has a number of problems. Violence is seen as an essential part of the game on the court. Clark and other talented athletes are not held in high regard. They are resentful. Even worse, the leadership that should be supporting and defending these guys is nowhere to be found. The league's silence in the wake of a recent shocking incident says it all. The WNBA should have reacted firmly when a whistle blew and Marina Mabra suddenly assaulted Caitlin Clark. The league should have made it clear that such behavior would never be accepted in addition to imposing fines and punishments. Rather, there was no word, just crickets and utter silence. The legendary basketball player Larry Bird was unreserved in his criticism of the league's failings. He called it cowardice. It's not just the cowardice of players who deliver cheap, vicious strikes. It's also the cowardice of a league that does little to stop it. For many young athletes, this is a heartbreaking message. If you shine or are unique, the system might penalize you rather than protect you. Even worse, the athletes who cause issues don't apologize. Instead of accepting responsibility and making an apology, they complain and play the victim. To portray themselves negatively, they invent the story. Larry Bird finds this unacceptable. During his time, players absorbed their hits and accepted responsibility. You didn't use social media to cry or rant. You accepted responsibility for your mistakes, maintained your composure, and continued. As the WNBA battles to protect and honor its best talent, fans' whispers are growing louder. Many people are wondering if Caitlin Clark will stay. Or will she choose to use her skills somewhere else? Perhaps to a new, developing league that Larry Bird himself would launch, or perhaps to Europe, where athletes frequently find better chances. If Caitlin Clark chooses to step down, millions of fans will follow her. Everything has altered just by having her around, and no one will be shocked if Larry Bird is standing courtside, clipboard in hand, ready to guide her through this next stage. While the WNBA mistreats its most gifted athlete, Larry Bird is not just watching, he is planning. If the league doesn't act fast, Caitlin Clark may be lost to an unreachable future. As the WNBA struggles, Larry Bird's warning that ignoring Caitlin Clark could endanger the league's future is still relevant. If protection doesn't work, Bird's plan might lead her and her millions of admirers in a different way. But who exactly is Larry Bird? Let's look into it. The unending mythology: more than just a talented athlete, Larry Bird was a famous basketball player who gained notoriety